Imagine standing at the edge of a tranquil lake at dawn. The first light of morning is barely visible on the horizon, and the world feels suspended in silence. You pick up a smooth pebble and toss it into the water. A small splash, then ripples expand outward in gentle concentric circles. Each wave climbs on the lake's surface, dances for a moment, and then falls back into calm. The water returns to stillness. In that quiet cycle, from stillness to motion, back to stillness, we glimpse the essence of nature's rhythm. This moment is no mere coincidence. It reflects a universal rhythm woven into the fabric of reality. Hermetic teachings speak of this as the principle of rhythm, the natural flow of all things, the ebb and the flow that shapes every moment of our lives. We see it all around us. Day follows night, summer follows winter, ideas flourish then fade, and new ideas are born. Every crest is matched by a trough, every high begets a low. You might even call it the silent heartbeat of existence. Consider your own life. You've surely experienced peaks of joy and valleys of sorrow, times of abundant energy and times of quiet rest. Perhaps a celebration once felt as if it would last forever until it ended. Maybe a difficult season once felt endless until, unexpectedly, it transformed. These swings are not random. They're the pendulum of life, gently swinging between extremes. When we forget this truth, we suffer needlessly. We hold on too tightly to our peaks or despair too deeply in our valleys. For every long night, there will be a morning. For every long winter, a spring must come. All around us, nature teaches this lesson too. The sun unfailingly rises after every night, no matter how dark it was. Trees shed their leaves in autumn to prepare for renewal in spring. The tide rushes in to cover the shore, then recedes again. The rhythmic pulse of your own breath and heartbeat reminds you of this truth over and over. Even within your body, sleep and wakefulness alternate to keep you alive. Every muscle, every breath, every atom exists in a cycle of contraction and release. At first, this concept of constant change can feel unsettling. If everything flows away, what do we have to hold on to? The mind yearns for permanence. Yet herein lies the paradox. In accepting the ebb and flow, we actually find our greatest stability. Think of learning to swim. You let go of the shore, and only then do you discover your ability to float. Similarly, letting life ebb and flow makes you more graceful and strong, rather than causing you to break. In relationships and communities, we see rhythm too. Friendships and love have seasons, times of closeness and times of necessary distance. Even communities cycle through phases of growth and renewal. When you understand that people, like nature, need periods of rest and reflection, you become more patient with others. You learn to cherish moments of connection deeply and to use times of separation to grow on your own. This awareness brings compassion because you see that everyone's heart follows a natural tempo and everyone has a rhythm. Ancient wisdom across cultures recognized this fundamental reality. In the East, Taoists speak of Wu Wei, the effortless flow of the universe, and illustrate life with yin and yang, two opposite forces in a balanced motion. Hindu philosophy honors the cycle of samsara, birth to death to rebirth, reminding us that endings are beginnings in disguise. Indigenous traditions often symbolize life as a circle or a wheel, teaching us that we return to where we began, only on a higher spiral. Even the Ouroboros, the ancient image of a snake eating its own tail, shows the eternal cycle of beginning and ending. These symbols all tell the same story. Nothing ever truly stops, it only transforms. From the smallest particle to the furthest star, rhythm is everywhere. At the quantum level, light and matter move in waves. Neurons in your brain fire in rhythmic patterns. Planets spin and orbit in steady cycles. The day-night cycle, the turning of the seasons, the birth and death of stars, all are expressions of rhythm. Our modern world even runs on pulses and beats. Our clocks tick by seconds, our hearts keep steady time, and even technology is built on clockwork. Everything from music to math is built on patterns. Truly, rhythm is everywhere, in the smallest corners and the largest stretches of the universe. The Hermetic principle of rhythm tells us something profound. Extremes never last. In the teachings of the Kybalion, this idea is made clear. Think of a swing or a pendulum. When it reaches one end of its arc, it must inevitably swing back through the center to the other end. No pendulum ever remains stuck at the top. Likewise, your happiest moments will eventually give way to times of challenge, and your challenges will swing back toward serenity if you allow them to. The key is understanding how to meet each swing from that balanced center, learning from every turn. That central point of the pendulum is what Hermetic philosophy calls the neutral center. It is the place of perfect balance and calm between the swings. When you stand at that center, you witness the motion of reality without being torn by it. You do not cling to the high or despair in the low, because you understand both are fleeting. You become like the eye of a storm, at peace, even as the winds of change swirl around you. In that still center, your spirit is unshaken because you're rooted in something deeper than the surface movements. Finding that neutral center is the path to true mastery. Instead of reacting wildly to every new wave of emotion or event, you learn to pause, observe, and adapt. When joy comes, you savor it fully, knowing it too will shift. When hardship arrives, you endure with patience, knowing it will also shift in time. You begin to ride the waves of life with intention, guided by awareness rather than swept away by impulse. Over time, this inner balance turns you into an unshakable presence, no matter what storms come. One simple way to find that balance is through mindful breathing. Notice the natural rhythm of your breath right now. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Each breath is an opportunity to tune in. This basic cycle is a living reminder that rhythm is at the core of your experience. By syncing your awareness with your breath, you make the neutral center accessible at any moment. Even the act of breathing itself becomes a meditation on the rhythm of reality. Another way is to align your actions with natural cycles. Work in focused bursts when your energy is high, and rest or reflect when it wanes. Embrace seasons of growth by planting seeds, literally or metaphorically, and honor seasons of rest by letting yourself recharge. Just as a farmer does not force a harvest in the dead of winter, you need not force your best performance during a time meant for healing. Listen to the subtle shifts of nature around you and tune your life to its rhythm. Life will inevitably swing from one side to the other, but remember, the tides do not turn without warning. There are clues in every cycle. The sun slows near the horizon before it sets. Markets may crest before a downturn. Your heart often gives tiny signals before anxiety arrives. Tune in to the smaller rhythms in your life, the little patterns of energy, mood, and circumstance, and you can anticipate the swings. You can learn to surf the wave rather than be washed out by it. Imagine you are a surfer on the ocean of life. The waves are powerful yet patterned. You don't have to stop the waves. That's impossible, but you can position yourself and adjust your stance. You learn to read the swell, shift your weight, and align your board. In moments of calm, you paddle out and prepare. When a wave approaches, you catch it with confidence. Even if you wipe out sometimes, you soon find your balance and the right rhythm again. This analogy extends to emotions too. Your feelings are like waves rolling through the sea of your consciousness. When happiness swells within you, allow it to lift you gently, fully present in its beauty. When grief or anger crashes over you, accept its raw power but trust that, like the ocean returning to stillness, peace will come again. Do not cling desperately to the peak of your joy, for it is a crest that will descend. Do not panic in your sorrow, for it too is a trough that will rise. Both states flow through you in time, shaping the whole. The more we accept and understand these natural swings, the less they control us. The more we fight against them, the more exhausted we become. Picture a leaf on a stream. If it resists against the current, it tumbles chaotically. If it floats and follows the current, it travels gracefully. This is the choice we make at every moment. We can either struggle against reality's rhythm, or we can dance with it. Each choice creates a very different life experience. In every challenge, there is a hidden invitation. A storm invites the sailor to learn a new skill. A fall invites the injured to heal and grow stronger. A failure might even steer you in a better direction than you imagined. When you remain open to the rhythm, you become like a jazz musician improvising on stage. You stay present, you listen to the evolving melody, and you create something beautiful along the way. This perspective is truly paradigm shifting. It changes how you interpret every event. For many people, this way of thinking feels revolutionary. It is natural to fight against loss or cling to comfort. But imagine if you approached every high with curiosity and every low with hope. When you frame life's swings as part of a greater cycle, the fear of loss diminishes. You become a steady observer rather than a frantic actor. In other words, you gain perspective. What feels like a crisis is seen as a chapter, not the whole story. The wisdom of rhythm is meant to empower you in practical ways. For instance, start by observing your daily routines. Notice how some days you wake up with energy and others you feel drained. This is part of your personal cycle. Honor those differences. Schedule demanding work or creative tasks on your energetic days, and use quieter days for rest, learning, or gentle tasks. Similarly, look at your emotions. If you feel calm, delve deep. If restless, move and exercise. Over time, patterns will emerge. Maybe you discover that after weeks of intense effort, you inevitably need a break, or that certain times of day your mind is sharper. Learning your personal rhythm can be empowering. It helps you make decisions in sync with your natural flow. Treat your body and mind like living ecosystems. Observe, learn, adapt. This is the essence of self-mastery. The principle of rhythm is intimately connected with the principle of polarity, another Hermetic law. Polarity tells us that everything has an opposite: hot and cold, light and dark, big and small. These are actually extremes of the same thing. Rhythm is the motion between these opposites. In one sense, your sadness and happiness are the same feeling expressed at different ends of an emotional spectrum. The swing from one to the other is the rhythm that links them. Understanding this kinship of opposites dissolves much fear. You realize that what you resist exists for a reason and will transform into something else in due time. The wise person embraces both sides, knowing that midnight is only midnight because of noon, and the mountain is only majestic because of the valley beside it. One is incomplete without the other. Both are needed to define what each truly is. So how do we find this balanced center when life feels so chaotic? The answer lies in awareness and patience. Begin by simply observing the patterns in your own life without judgment. Keep a quiet journal, or just take a mental note. When did your day feel unusually smooth, and when did tension arise? Often the clues are right there if you pay attention. Then, consciously choose your response. In a surge of inspiration or energy, get moving, start that project, express that love, seize the moment. In a lull or slump, Honor it. Take a walk, meditate, speak with a friend, or simply rest and recharge. Treat yourself as nature treats the seasons, sometimes productive, sometimes dormant, and always cyclical. There is no shame in slowing down when the tides say it is time. This is the heart of Hermetic mastery. It is less about controlling the external world and more about mastering your internal response to it. By aligning your inner rhythm with the rhythm of reality, you become unshakable. The world might spin one way and then another, but you feel steady in the middle. This steadiness is your power, your sanctuary, and it grows the more you practice. As part of the eternal mind journey toward Hermetic mastery and personal growth, we embrace this dance wholeheartedly. In every lesson, we uncover these universal truths to help you transform from within. The rhythm of reality is not an enemy. It is a dance partner guiding us toward wisdom. You are the dancer, attuned to a deeper, more profound music that flows through all things. Each step and each breath is an opportunity to embrace this awareness and let it change you. Finally, remember that every beat of the universal rhythm is sacred. Nothing is truly meaningless in this dance of existence. Every choice, every heartbeat, every breath resonates with purpose. Each pulse of life carries its own lesson and wisdom. If you listen closely, it can guide you to fulfill your highest potential and help weave harmony into the world. Even the smallest act of mindfulness, a kind word, a quiet breath, a moment of gratitude, honors this cosmic rhythm. In this way, your very presence becomes a blessing. In the end, recognizing rhythm changes not just how you live, but how you feel about living. Instead of seeing chaos, you begin to see the intricate choreography of life. Instead of being tossed by waves, you become the sailor who trusts her boat and sails. Your anxieties diminish as you understand. This too shall pass, and new cycles will inevitably come. You greet each moment as you would a familiar song, with understanding, acceptance, and even joy. In fact, when challenges arise, you may find yourself intuitively sensing their eventual resolution, trusting that a new dawn is coming. This awareness fills life with a lightness. Instead of fear, you feel curiosity. Instead of chaos, you feel flow. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by extremes, remember the lake at dawn and the pebbles ripple. Remember the steady rhythm of your breath and the calm at the water's center. In any moment, pause and take a deep breath. Simple acts like this are powerful. Even science shows that a few calm breaths or a walk in nature can reset your nervous system. Remind yourself that balance is waiting at the center of any swing, and that center is where your power lies. You can return there at will, even in the busiest moments. You are an integral part of this grand symphony of existence, playing a unique melody that rises and falls in time. Every note and rest contributes to the whole. For everyone else listening, your loved ones, your community, even the future, your rhythm matters. When you live in tune with the flow, you inspire others to find their own rhythm too. Your presence and your story add richness to the universe's song. Embrace the idea that you're not just dancing to the beat of life. You're helping compose it. Stay centered, stay open, and keep dancing to the timeless beat of the universe. You are one with this music, now and always, dancing in step with the cosmos.